Hello, everybody. Welcome to my channel, and thank you for joining. Now, in today's episode, we're going to do the round 5 review. Okay, we're going to go through, well, actually, we're going to do things a little bit differently today because I'm running out of time. We've had some dramas at home, and I was unable to upload a video yesterday. And as you recall, I spoke about my mum having virtually was hospitalised 2 weeks ago. She came out fully recovered. She had water in her lungs back then because the heart's not pumping out the water fast enough. So they've told her not to drink much water, and they gave her tablets. Unfortunately, my mum. Very stubborn lady, my mum, didn't take those tablets, and she copped a stroke Actually, she copped it on Monday. Okay, and it's actually not as bad as I first thought, because when they said she's got a stroke, I nearly fainted. Okay, I was so disappointed, but it's not life-threatening. That's good news. She's still in hospital. Yes, she got what they call Alice in Wonderland syndrome. Okay, now I've never heard of this before. Okay, I didn't know it existed, and it's apparently a very, very rare. Okay, and normally this happens in kids. Okay, so my mum got the stroke. I mean, it gets to the brain, and then it's hit her eye. And what this is she sees things that are bigger than normal. For example, if you see a cup, you'll see a normal size cup. When she sees the cup, it looks like a humongous 2-liter basket or container or something. So she's seeing things now that are bigger than normal. Okay, so very rare disease, and we're lucky that she didn't have speech problems or didn't lose her. Well, she's able to move her arms, her legs, everything is normal. Okay, so her face didn't drop like it normally does when you get a stroke, but just she's got Alice in Wonderland syndrome. So all the doctors are now very curious as to how she got this. So they're experimenting on my mum now. Eventually, you got all the students at the hospital checking up on my mum now because they've never seen something like this before. So it's something that's very rare. And a shout out to DR as well, who's also been hospitalised over the weekend. And all my love and thoughts go to the family of DR and DR himself, and we wish him a speedy recovery. And from what I'm hearing also, that DR is also going to have a speedy recovery, so that's the good news. Now, I put up a tweet today because I spoke to my good friend Fahri. Now, me and Fahri go back since the start of the year, and we were actually having a long chat at the start of the year, and he was talking about how his son and my daughter worked at the same place together, and that's how a conversation started. Well, Fahri is actually number 1 in Supercoach right now, and a follower of my channel, is a good young man. We've been chatting, and we're going to bring him on the channel this week. Okay, I'm going to interview him. I'm going to interrogate him. Okay, it's going to be full interrogation because he's a number 1 ranked team, and his team is worth $12 million, okay? So we're going to find out where he got this cash from, because I think he's been robbing my club. My club has lost some cash. I think Fahri has taken all of it. Just coming down. So we're going to interrogate him. Virtually, we're going to do it tomorrow. The video might come out the following day. It's going to be a fun episode and full interrogation of Fahri and how we got this money. We're going to find it. Today's video is going to be a lot quicker than normal because I've got so much to do today. I've got to still do my trades. I haven't even thought about what trades I'm going to do. I haven't looked at my team yet because I've been so busy. So we're going to start off first with what our Spuds did this week. Okay, now they only scored the 21.75. The projection was up to 23.50 at one stage. I was very excited, 23.50, and then all of a sudden, they all become poo-poo. They become rubbish, just coming down. Okay, everything that looked good, they looked very bad. All my leagues looked like I was going to win everything. Okay, I was going to put gritty guts. I was starting to show off, show my friends, look, I'm winning all my leagues. And then all of a sudden, I couldn't even win any leagues. So anyway, we scored the 21.75. Now we're ranked 14,783. We're 700 points behind first place Fahri. Okay, so We're going to try to. We'll let Fahri win it. We'll try to come second. Okay, I'm not going to catch Fahri. He's my friend anyway, so I'll let him win it this year. So I'm going to try to come second, just behind Fahri. So we've got a lot of ground to make up on, but I think my Spuds have a chance because things are going to change next week. I'm going to show you our plans, our trades, and our team is all of a sudden going to become a team of Spuds that can actually score for a change. So let's go through this week's scores. Now, in defence, we brought in Lockie Whitfield this week, and we didn't expect Whitfield to go nuts, okay, because I seen what Whitfield scored on this ground 2 years ago, and it was a 78 or something. So he scored the 86. I mean, we brought him in because we think we're going to need him for the whole year, so we just brought him in. However, we traded out a player, well, two players that we traded out. They both went nuts, okay? Now, I can't work this out. It's like Supercoach just hates me, okay? Whatever I do, the players just go nuts. We traded out the Horny Man a couple of weeks ago. He goes and scores a 150, okay? Now, if that wasn't bad enough, we traded out Ed Richards. He scores a 115. We traded Ed Richards out because we brought in Brayshaw and Whitfield, okay? So we sort of wanted two keepers in a team, and Rosie and Richards, who were starting off as placeholders in my team. Richards sort of did his job, but didn't do it good enough, and Rosie definitely didn't do his job. So I said, your time has come to go. So I traded both of them out, brought in two players that I thought I would keep for the whole year. One of them even scored a 155, and I captained him, so that was a good move. But Rosie just goes and changes his role. He plays halfback. Plays like Whitfield, who I brought in. Whitfield plays like Rosie. I can't believe what's going on. Just coming down. When they come to Abs Magic, they become Spuds. When they leave Abs Magic, they become Studs. Okay, that's what happens. And if they're already Studs, okay, they're Studs like Whitfield. He'll come to Abs Magic and become a Spud. Okay, like he's done here, 86. The minute if I sacked him this week, it's guaranteed he's going to score 150 next week, okay? If I keep him, he'll only score another 86. Now, look at the Zorko, 82. Last week, same thing. They just want it to be, like, this week I'm going to sack Roberts. I'll guarantee you, if you got Roberts in your team, just keep him, okay? Guarantee, just keep him. Actually, make him captain, okay? If you got Roberts, you should make him captain, because I'm going to sack him. He's going to score your 150. I guarantee it. 150 coming up from Roberts this week. Just coming down. Now, we'll look at our team. On the bench, we've got a 104 from Zach Reed, because why would I want to have a 104 on field when I can have the 80s and 89s and the 79s? No, I'll just leave the 104 on the bench. I don't want those points. And here, even in the midfield, we've got a 70 here from Hanley. But why would I take the 70 when I could take a 48 from Lindsay or a 52 from Hall? So I couldn't get the bench right, but not that it gave me a lot of points. But every point matters right now when you're ranked 17,000. We're sort of counting the points. We're picking up from the gutters the points. We sort of need everything we can get. And with our bench, the bench is cooked. Okay, there's nothing on the bench. There's no cash. Okay, Mariah's scored the 42. He's cooked. Okay, because what's he going to do now next? Okay, he's got to break even at 36. We need him to score a 70 to get back to making cash. Hanley's the only player that's cooking, okay? The rest are cooked, but Hanley's cooking. We've got Henderson. He's absolutely fried, okay? Henderson, you could break in at 55. He's not going to score that. I don't even think he's going to play next week. So Henderson is French fries right now, okay? He's Spud. We've got Boyd. He can't even get a game. We've got Stone. He's fried as well. Now, what's Stone's break even? Okay, it's 35. I mean, he's virtually just... He's there for one reason, only just for that DPP, so I can switch him around. So Stone is cooked, okay, fried. Johnson is not even playing. He's on the bubble, okay. He's played 2 games. He's got a minus 23 break even. We just need him to get back on the park. He's a big chance this week because Melbourne don't have a forward line. So maybe Johnson comes back. He's a tough. He plays second ruck as well. They've got Ruyan there playing second ruck. It doesn't suit him. This is for Johnson to be the second ruck. So hopefully Johnson comes back in the team and helps Ruyan out, who can just play them full forward. Now Armstrong, he's cooked. Okay, he's finished. Finito is gone. Okay, so we're gonna sack Armstrong. Nevitt is fried. Okay, now Nevitt. What, he scored a 50. Okay, well, let's have a look at Nevitt, because the previous week he scored a 20, I think. Actually, Nevitt maybe come back, okay, but he didn't look that good this week. He looked terrible. So only scored a 50, and I thought Nevitt was going to be an 80s type scoring midfielder. I got this one wrong. My rookies, they've let me down. The ones that are good, I didn't get them, because why would I want good rookies when I have the bad ones? Okay, so I got the Spuds. Okay, because Adam's Magic, we only collect Spuds, so we didn't get the Reeds. The Murphy Reed go 130k. No, I didn't want to get him. What would I get him for? Okay, because he's a good player. So we missed out on the Reed. We missed out on Ashcroft, because I had the choice, Ashcroft or Lindsay. I chose Lindsay because although Lindsay, I think, is still going to be good, okay? He's probably going to be the best of the rookies, but his break-even is now 64, so it's very high, but I think he can get this. I think he's the one rookie that can go about 70, because if you look at his previous scores, let's go to Lindsay. He started off scoring an 86 and a 78, so he's decent, okay? Then he got injured at 9, scored the 48. I think he'll bounce back. Okay, so I don't mind Lindsay. So Lindsay can stay, but half these have to go, and there's not many rookies on the horizon. I think we've got a few this week, maybe one or two the following week, and that's it. There's nothing left. Okay, so we may have to hold on to some of these Spuds, okay, for a bit longer. We've got Peyton on the bench, also cooked. Okay, so the bench. I know I received comments saying your bench is cooked. Well, the person that made those comments, you're right. They don't just cook their French fries right now. Just calm it down. So if you look at our team value, it's only 11.4 mil. And if you look at teams, if you go, let's go over here, go classic, okay? Go look at the teams and the rankings. Teams like the leader, Fati's team, it's worth 12 mil. His team, he's got a 600k worth of value more than my team. I can't. There's no way I can catch up to these teams. I mean, if you look at even for example here, the fifth place team, Ned, 11.5 mil, very hard to win Supercoach. Even a small victory, that's Matthews, 11.4 mil. When you got teams above you like Bailey's team, 11.8 mil, 11.8, 11.7, 11.8. Cash is king, okay? So if you got the cash, even these 11.9 mil teams, that's Ben's team, these teams, at the end of the day, are going to fly, because the value is so high. They can afford better players, and that's what happens. So what we got to do is we got to find players now that are cheap, that are going to become expensive, so their value can rise. So we've got to find players that are going to score 120s at a price under 500k. That's very hard. But that's our job, okay? That's what we're going to find. That's what we're going to try to do this week, okay? That's what's our biggest goal. Now, going back for our team, we got the Conning. Now, there's news out that Pittenet's going to come back this week, so the Conning's going to be cooked. Now, we don't know what to do with the Conning. He's at 576k, and his break-even is 125. If he plays full forward or in the forward pocket, wherever he's going to play, with part-time ruck, maybe he goes and scores an 80, okay? But that's not going to be enough. But we've got no choice. We're going to have to hold him. So we've got the Conning. Nank has been decent, actually. Only had one bad game, or maybe two bad games, but he hasn't been that bad. So we're actually happy with Nank. Now, he's gone 114, okay? And 67 was the bad game, then a 123, an 87, and now a 125. So going by this pattern here, okay, we think the next game is going to be under 100 because it has a pattern happening. Next into patterns, okay? So you can see here, it's high, low, high, low, high, and there's going to be a low now. So we need Nate to stop this behavior because it's irritating. Just calm it down. We've got McRae, who's out of form. Okay, check out McRae's last couple of scores. Okay, now McRae, Well, when I say out of form, okay, compared to most of my Spuds, McRae is starring, okay, but out of form as in the last two scores have been 170, whereas previous is 127, 162, 120. So he's dropped a bit in his scoring, but McRae's the least of our problems because everyone's got McRae. Rankin is also not performing. So Rankin, you can see here, the last two scores 81, 91. I mean, they're decent for a forward. But the forwards that are scoring, we don't have them because we used to have them, okay? The horny man, we used to have him, but why would I want to have a good forward? We're not going to have the Spuds, okay? So the horny man, if you've still got the horny man, well done. But we got Smith, okay? Because we turned the horny man into a Smith. So, well, at least Smith's still doing good. So we didn't really lose on that deal, but maybe we should have found another way to get Smith in. So Smith is... to be honest, exceeding all my expectations of him because I did not think he was going to average or score these big scores. I had him down for a 90 average max, okay? So Smith is going good. And then we have Callahan. Now, last week I could have traded out two players that I did trade out were Richards and Rosie, and I kept Callahan because I didn't have enough cash to turn a Callahan into a Whitfield or a Brayshaw, but the other two boys gave me that cash. Maybe if I, in hindsight, and if I knew they're going to switch roles for Rosie, because of course, why would you keep Rosie in a midfield when Abs Magic scores bananas, okay? Why would you do that? Turn him into a half-backer and turn him into a Whitfield. Now, if I knew this was going to happen, I would have kept him. But no, they don't do it. They don't tell me these things. So, unfortunately, we lost Rosie and we kept Callahan. And as you can see, Callahan, he didn't do much again. Scored the 82. I'm not happy about this, but we're stuck with him now. So Callahan, we're stuck with virtually for the whole year, well, until the bye rounds anyway. So Callahan will remain in the team for now. His price will pretty much stop around here. He'll be priced roughly around about 400 to 450. He's not going to go up or down more than that. So that's what we're expecting from Callahan now. Unless he has a couple of spike games and goes nuts. Okay, then we can get him spiked up to about 550 or 600k, which will be a miracle if that happens. We're going to turn him into the Bont. Otherwise, he's just going to stay here and get these rookies off the field, these 48s and 52s. Now, we're going to check all the scores from all the grounds, but we're going to do these very quickly today, okay? So we're not going to be the usual long, full-on episode. So we're going to go through as quick as possible. And at Adelaide, we'll start there first. We've got Malera scoring a 109, okay? Now, he's been inconsistent, so I'd pass on Malera if you're interested, okay? Even though he's only 300k, he's not going to score these 109s. We saw 70s and 80s from him. But Laird is the interesting one because people are now talking up Rosie, okay? Now, Rosie and Laird have something in common, okay? They're both midfielders that play a halfback role. And Rosie probably more offensive, more aggressive halfback, where Laird is still an aggressive halfback also. So probably not as aggressive as Rosie, but still aggressive. So Laird has been scoring 90, going around about the 100 mark. This is where I see Rosie scoring at. Laird has the odd 120, 130 game as well, similar to Rosie. Rosie has the Houston role. Houston, if you can recall, used to score 130s, 140s, but he also used to score 80s, okay? So it's not like he has an unbelievable 130 averaging role similar to a Whitfield. He doesn't. I'm talking about Rosie now. Rosie has a very similar role to Laird, who also has a similar role to Houston. The difference is Houston had kick-ins, which was bonus. Not all of them, but some of them. Laird and Rosie don't have kick-ins. They take the odd one or two kick-ins, but it's not their job for the kick-ins. So I only like halfbacks that take kick-ins. So for me, Laird is a pass, okay? So if you go further down, Rankin is a Jet, scored a 91. The player of interest now is going to be, we saw Dawson score a 60 and Saligo score a 63, okay? Now, If you can recall last week, we were actually considering bringing Dawson in there. That would have been disaster, okay, if we did this. But Dawson scoring at 60, don't be alarmed. He went at 38% disposal efficiency. This is very unusual for him because he still scored 92 fantasy points. Had 17 kicks and 4 handballs. He found the ball. He had 3 behinds. These could have been 3 goals. So Dawson didn't have a bad game, okay? This game was typical of his big games. Let me show you. So if you look at CBAs for Adelaide, you'll see that Dawson still has 81%, so nothing's changed with Dawson. If you look at his possessions, okay, let's go to Supercoach and possessions. Compare the pair, okay? Now, there's a commercial like that, so I'm doing commercials now. So if you have a look at his possessions, well, he did have a bit less than normal. For last week, he had 17 kicks and 14 handballs, and he scored the 124. The previous week, he had 11 kicks and 8 handballs, okay? So that's not many. He scored the 96, just 11 and 8, at 63%. And he kicked how many goals? No goals that game as well. So 11 kicks and 8 handballs. That's actually an unbelievable score. Whereas this week, he had 17 kicks and 4 handballs, but only scored the 60, okay? So don't be too alarmed if you're a Dawson owner is what I'm trying to say, okay? And we're going to try to pick him up very cheap. Let me show you. Well, actually, when I say we're going to pick him up cheap, he's already cheap, 532K, but you can get him cheaper. You're going to see here, he's playing GWS this week, so there's a tag coming. So let's say he scores a 105 in the next couple of games, okay? If we project that, he's going to lose another 30K. So he's going to be worth 503K for the Carlton game, just in time for the Hewitt tag, okay? So he's going to be well priced still, and I'd pretty much be very interested to pick him up at this price at 500K. That's a good deal, okay? So we can't pick up all the Jets now. So whatever Jets you got in your team now, that's pretty much it. It's finished, okay? You got maybe this week one more Jets you can have in your team, and that's the end of the Jets. No more Jets in your team. The rest of your team now is going to be players that are going to be bargain basement players. Okay, you're going to be a tight ass now. Okay, you can't splash the cash anymore. So because we need to get these rookies off the field, I'd rather have Hall on the bench. Okay, and have Dawson here scoring eight extra points. Okay, so if Dawson goes 60, Hall 52, I'm happy with the 60 points from Dawson. Okay, so but that's not the fact. Obviously, I'm not serious on that one. But Dawson averaging 100, 120s. So you want these players on field, and you get them for 500K. You just grab them. Okay, and because you're not going to have the best of the best. It's nearly impossible, especially when you've got rookies here doing nothing, okay? All the rookies are cooked, French fries, okay? So, and this year we need 23 primos, not 24, not 22 like last year. So we need an extra primo as well. So by needing that extra primo, you're going to have to start now shopping at Aldi and the markets. Although this week we're going to shop at Myers again, I think. We're going to find out. Now, going over to Geelong, okay, now at the Cats, Max Holmes scored the 147, okay, a massive game. And, it's a huge game. 22 kicks, 10 handballs, only the 1 goal. So 9 contested possessions, 7... he's a beast, okay? And... he's going to get tagged. He's playing Hawthorn this week, and we saw how the Port Adelaide players, they got tagged from Hawthorn and how they went, okay? They all went nuts. So maybe the tag's not going to work on Holmes. So I'm expecting Holmes to go nuts again. Is Holmes worth grabbing? Let's check him out. Now, his break-even is 105, okay? So that's not much. He's risen in value only 8K or 13K this week, but only 8K since the start of the year, okay? So it's not like he's gone up massively in value, but his price is due to rise very soon if he scores these, a 114 and a 120. I'd almost be tempted to actually grab Holmes as well. Holmes looks decent. I really like him. He adds a bit of variety to your team because he plays midfield defender. When Stewart wasn't there last week, he was taking some of the kick-ins as well. He's normally the kicking target as well. So when Stewart takes the kick-ins, usually they look for Holmes with a short kick, and then he just takes a dash and runs. And at Geelong, Bailey Smith being the other tag target and Stewart being another tag target, Holmes sometimes doesn't always cop the tags. And if you look at his taggable games coming up, he's got one against GWS in round 9, okay? He's got Hawthorn and Carlton coming up. Maybe Perryman tagging Collingwood, but looks like Collingwood aren't tagging. Perryman isn't the tagger anymore because Perryman's now playing in defence. So maybe Perryman tags defenders. I don't know what's going on at Collingwood because now they've got other players in their midfield. Then you got, there's not many taggable games coming up. So Holmes could also be a target for you, and he's not very highly owned, so it could be a play of difference. Now, we already spoke about Smith scoring the 126. He went at a very high disposal efficiency this week for him at 54%. He had 7 clangers, but for some reason, these clangers don't count to his score, okay? Because whenever Smith gets points, they just add on, okay? But the good, look, 1 tackle, so it's like he had a lot of tackles. 17 contested possessions, that's a bonus, that's huge. So, Smith looking very good. Now, is there anyone else? Well, there's Jeremy Cameron, scored the 105, kicked the 4 goals. He's a target probably after the bye rounds because of his draw coming up. Got a couple of Richmond games coming up as well, so get him after his bye. There's not many players at Geelong that are of interest here. Connor O'Sullivan, where is he? Okay, scored the 42 now. He's probably cooked as well. And you got Stewart to come back this week. So Sam De Koning, another one, 57 he scored, so he wasn't the right answer for that role. And that's pretty much it over at Geelong. Now we'll go to Collingwood and we'll talk about Nick Dacos. Now, he had only 2 behind, so no goals. 15 contested possessions at 73%, 16 kicks at 18 handballs. He's a Jet, okay, and he's very cheap this week. So he'll be on a lot of teams' radars. He's on my radar as well, big time. There's a lot of players that I want that I can't get. So Nick Dacos is one of them. He's got a break even of 120, so you probably can still get him. If you don't get him this week, you can get him next week. But probably next week you won't have the cash unless you double down this week and don't spend the cash. But if you spend your cash this week, there's no way you can get the Nick Dacos next week. Almost impossible. So he's the target this week. Now, going further down, Ned Long, he's 280k, 13 kicks, 16 handballs, scored the 114, 17 contested possessions. That's massive. Went at 69%. Take note, his score to Smith's score, okay? Did the same things, but didn't score like Smith. But he looks decent, but it's a risk, okay? Because if I knew it was guaranteed he's going to always go at 114, we'd all grab him this week. We don't know at Collingwood. The coach says he's not going to make him sub no more. I don't believe a word that the coach at Collingwood tells me because he also said that Ed Allen will be in the team. He's too good to play in the reserves. Well, Ed Allen is barely in the team, okay? So I don't believe a word he says at the Collingwood, the coach, but Ned Long did look really good. And then we have Perryman scoring the 62, hardly any CBAs. He's cooked, okay? You can't have him in your team. He's letting you down. So if you've still got him, I think it's time to part ways and let him go because before you lose all your cash on him. Now, going to Sydney and players of interest, well, Heaney is one player, 14 kicks, 14 handballs, 2 goals, 13 contested. Is Heaney back? Okay, because I think he's cheap. He's 87k cheaper than what he was at the start of the year, so he's really cheap, okay? And he's got a break even of 112. There's no rush to get him either. He's got a huge break even, and he's got games coming up against Gold Coast and then GWS. And that's a taggable games. The next 2 here, GWS and Essendon, both taggable games. So I wouldn't even rush to get him, but around about, you're looking at price drops as well. If he scores hundreds every week, he's still going to drop in price, 5, 10k, even 5. You can get him in the buy rounds. So I'd be targeting Heaney during the buys. Miami Vice, Gun. Okay, scored to 89, 17 kicks and 4 handballs, similar to what we saw, well, actually identical to Dawson. The difference is 90% disposal efficiency, which gives him a better score. Jet of a player, okay, for a rookie, 113k is the best rookie we've ever had. Then got Chad Warner, okay, scored the 81, and we got excited about Chad Warner. We let go of the horny man, thinking that we're going to bring in Chad Warner to replace him. I think I prefer the horny man, to be honest, but I've sort of don't have him anymore. So we've lost the horny man, and probably going to pick up Warner, but I'm not really keen on Warner right now, so I don't know what's going to happen. So we're going to leave the forward line as it is. But Warner is going to be very, very cheap as well. Way unders for his price. Now, with Chad Warner, he's already 499k and dropping, okay? And if he scores a 100 this week, okay, let's give him 100. He only goes up to 28k, drops another 30k. They're down to 470k. This is Warner. Started at 550. He's going to drop 100k in value, plus more maybe, okay? Because if he scores another 80 this week, okay, another 80 this week, if you project it, he's going to be so 450k. You can get him in round 7. So he's a player that I'm targeting. Okay, so 450k for a Warner is absolute steal. Okay, so maybe the trade out for the horny man when he had some value down to a Warner, maybe he still is viable. So we'll see how it goes. But Warner, keep an eye on him. Now when we go further down at Sydney. Matt Roberts, 79, also 17 kicks and 7 handballs, but he went at 70%. He's decent. You don't have to get rid of him, okay? But I am, okay? Because at 125 break even, I need his cash to bring in a Jet in another position because I want to put all my rookies in defence on field this week, the ones that are scoring high. There's no point having Roberts there and having those 104s on the bench, so I might as well get them all on field. So Roberts is going to go this week. Hanley had a good game, but the player to bring in this week is going to be Cleary, 81. He had a good game, 7 kicks, 11 handballs. He actually looked really decent, and he plays much higher up the ground, even had midfield minutes. I like him, and as a player that can score 80s in your forward line and a rookie, he's going to replace players like Stone that are scoring 30s. So it's a 50-point increase in your weekly score, having Cleary in your team. So definitely a big buy this week is going to be Cleary. Now we go to North Melbourne and Gold Coast, and at North Melbourne, Caleb Daniel, the 116, Cheezels, only 27 disposals this week, kicked a goal. I don't know really where he's playing right now. He kicked a goal, playing forward, playing back, playing midfield. He's playing everywhere, okay? He's the everywhere man right now. As long as he's scoring, we're happy. Simpkin back to another score of 100. Is Simpkin the real deal? Okay, that's a question now. Is he the real deal? Okay, maybe he is. Maybe last year he wasn't. Maybe this year he is. But we've still got players to come back to this team. So don't rush yet on Simpkin. Uniac scored the 101. Okay, had a decent game. 9 contested possessions. It's not really a 130, is it? It's only a 101. Last year, Uniac scored similar scores. He only scored these big 140s in the last 5 minutes of the game when there was scaling on the line. He would get 20 or 30 scaling points and move from 90 to 130 just like that. So I'm not sold on Uniac still, okay, as a primo because he's not getting enough of the pill. 26 touches, 4 tackles, only 9 contested. When you look at Raul, 15 contested. There's a difference there. You need these contested possessions, and Uniac doesn't have that many of them. You go further down, Sherry. What's happened to him? Okay, what's happened to Sherry? 83, unbelievable. Only 9 disposals. He's not the same Sherry. He did play against Gold Coast. Well, even Jared Witts didn't score much, 73. It's that ground, okay, they played on, okay? There's something wrong. I don't understand it. Maybe Adelaide Ruckman can't score, okay? Maybe that's the reason. Maybe that's why we always see players that play against Port Adelaide that can't score. Maybe it's actually Adelaide itself. Ruckman, they don't know what to do at Adelaide, okay? They get excited. They're going for a holiday. They can't score at Adelaide, the Ruckman. So we had another failure from Sherry. We go further down, and there's not many else to talk about here. Colby McKercher scored a 22. He's not Supercoach relevant yet, but if he gets a good role, keep an eye on him in case something changes, because he got subbed out of the game. Now, Gold Coast got Matt Rowell, the weapon from last year. Well, last week he had a stinker. Okay, that's why we brought him in, because that's what happens to our players when we bring them in. They become spuds. But this week he was back, so scored the 126. He's very impressive. 26 disposals. Noah Anderson has been a Jet. He's very up and down. Took Miller 106. Humpty scored the 74. We noticed in the first two games when he scored those 100s, he had 20 disposals. You can see here only the 14 disposals. So he needs to get to 20 disposals to score those 100 points. Very hard for Humpty to have 20 disposals, especially when you're playing in the forward line and getting a bit of mid-minutes. And you got hogs like Rowell, Anderson and Took Miller in there as well. So not easy, okay? So he's got easy matchups coming up soon, so maybe you can still hold him. Okay, play with Richmond this week, so surely you're going to hold against Richmond. But if you trade him out also, it's not a bad, it's up to you, okay? So it's your discretion with Humpty. There's no right or wrong answer with him. And going further down, we saw Rioli last week score 165. This week, it scored 100 less, 66. So that's a thing with half-backs that don't take kick-ins. They can go nuts, score a 160, okay? Or they can only score a 60. And he's an attacking half-back. So you can see here, the score wasn't there this week. And that's pretty much it at Gold Coast. Now we go to Carlton and West Coast. And at Carlton, Sam Walsh, 13 kicks, 24 handballs. Probably the best game I've seen him play. Besides his game last year, his first game after injury. This is not what Walsh normally does, but this is what we expected from Walsh. And this week he really put in. So, but he played West Coast, okay? Now, Hewitt is going nuts every single week. This week had 40 disposals. You've missed the boat on Hewitt, okay? We all have, okay? So at his current price now is too much, okay? I wouldn't pay that money. I'd rather get a Dacos or someone. So let's go further down. If you got Hewitt, good, you've done well. Especially got him at the start of the year, 450k. He was cheap as. We go further down. Adam Chera, another good game. We sacked Chera, we kept Callahan, and we're living to regret it because we sacked the wrong player. One had to go, but I thought Callahan was better than Chera. I thought wrong, okay? Callahan's a con artist, okay? So we got sucked in. So Chera is doing well. Now, going further down, and there's not much else here to talk about besides the Conning, who we think is going to lose this role. So we don't know where he's going to score now. Maybe 80s now. So the Conning is going to be a sad day next week when we see Pitt in the team. It's going to hurt. Go to West Coast. Jack Graham in the middle again. Previous week he wasn't in the middle. Let's have a look at CBAs at West Coast. As you can see here, Clay Hall had 76% last week. Well, this week it dropped to 56%. We're still happy with that, okay? So as long as he keeps that, but we're not sure if he's going to keep playing next week or not, because he had a stinker. We have Gross. He had 74%. Looks like Gross is the boy in that midfield now, the number one man. Well, we had Hutchinson, 85%. Did I miss this? Okay, where did this come from? So Hutchinson had 85% CBAs this week. So he took. Where's Jack Graham? Jack Graham had none. Okay, so this is interesting. I thought Jack Graham took him because I didn't watch this game. Okay, so but it was actually Hutchinson that had all the CBAs. What did Hutchinson score the previous weeks? Okay, let's have a look at Hutchinson now. Let's go to Hutchinson. This could be interesting. What did he score this week? Well, he didn't score much, okay? He had 85% CBA, he only scored 56. So maybe they're going to kick him out of there again, okay? So maybe there is room for the other players. Hutchinson only scored 56 Supercoach points. He only had 5 kicks, 7 handballs, okay? He did nothing. One behind, okay? I think Hutchinson moves out of that CBA. Maybe Hall keeps his role there. Maric scored the 84, 20 kicks, one handball, okay? And I'd say most of these kicks would have been from kick-ins because Carlton kicked 17 goals, 19 behinds. Not many teams are going to score 19 behinds. So he probably, let's have a look. How many kick-ins did Maric have? Well, from the 19 behinds, he took half of them. He had 10 kick-ins, okay? Now, if you started Maric, paid the 280k for him or 270k, I can't remember what it was. If you started him at 220k, even better. But if you pay 270k for him, you would be, I don't know if you'd be happy for 84, okay, to be honest. I think you would be, I mean, you can get 84 from Maric, okay, but Gross at 113k scored an 82, okay, so points per dollar, the rookies are doing better. You can argue that Maric plays in the forward line, so you're getting a player like Stone off the field, okay, and it's a valid point. However, now that we have Cleary from Sydney available, who's also scoring the same as what Maric is scoring now, Maric is no longer an advantage for you because that's been taken away from you from Cleary now coming in. So if you've got him, you're going to obviously hold him, let him make up to 400k, but it's going to be a hold now where that extra 200k that you've spent on Maric, other teams have spent elsewhere. So that's something to think about, okay, with the Maric trading. But Maric, you want him to go 100, okay? Then he's viable. You don't want these 80s, okay? Even though those 80s look good, they're decent, and you only pay 280k for it. Realistically, to get your points per dollar compared to rookies scoring 80s, you want 100 from Maric, okay? So he goes at 60 at half time. I don't know what happens after half time. He goes to sleep. Okay? I've seen him napping on the field. So we'll see what happens with Maric. Now, Harley Reid is playing halfback, scoring 76. That's not enough, okay? So Reid has the role. We saw Hall scored the 52. Sandy Brock scored the 39. Last week scored 80, so I'm sure about Brock now. I was excited last week, but I'm not too excited right now. So the player to get in now, I think Gross, absolute must-have. 12 kicks, 6 handballs. He reminds me of the Freo player Sarong, the way he looks, the way he plays. I think he's going to be a Jet, okay? Very impressed with this young man. Now, we'll go to the Western Bulldogs, and Ed Richards this week decides to turn up, okay, because we sacked him, okay? 14 contested possessions, 16 kicks, 13 handballs. We sacked him because he had value in his dollar. We wanted to upgrade him and bring in the 2 Jets. I always thought Ed Richards was going to be good, but never a keeper. Unfortunately for me this week, he scored the 113 and he rubbed it in my face. That's what he did. He made me very upset this week. So it was painful watching him score 113. But in a way, it was good to watch him score this because it just showed that my pick wasn't as bad as I first thought. But anyway, Libba didn't do well this week. Scored the 101. Tim English the 112, but Tim English was struggling, so he went up. I don't know about English. I don't know about any ruckman this year. Okay, they're all poo poo. If you go further down, Darcy up until at half time he looked really good. Okay, and now I thought this was going to be his hardest game because against Lions you got the best defenders in the league, but he still managed to score, kick 2 goals, scored the 87. Is he going to be F6? Possible, okay, so you can probably, if you can get him cheap, is worth it. I think he's at 500k now. I wouldn't pay that much for him, okay. I'd want to get him around about 400k, a couple of stinkers, and I'll grab him at 400k. So just wait on Sam Darcy, I think. Bailey Dale had a shocker, 68, but a lot of defenders struggled, okay. You saw, the players that I brought in, okay. Whitfield, he didn't do much. You saw Zorko score 82. He didn't do much, so there wasn't much action for defenders. But then again, some defenders did score, so it was weird, okay? So weird ground to score on. So Dale's a 68. Now his price is going to get smashed. He's going to be under 500k. So if you're going to pick up a Dale very cheap, he'll be available soon at a store near you, okay? At a market very close to you, so you can get Dale. And Davidson scored a 61. We needed more from him. He had 14 touches still, but this ground wasn't suited for wingers, okay, because it was a narrow ground, so we didn't expect much. I think he'll do well next week. And if you still got Frazier, okay, or Freya, okay, scored the 50, okay, that's now a trade out, okay, got to go. Now, go to the Brisbane Lions, McCluggage, okay, now this is killing me, okay, because I really wanted to pick him last week. I didn't have the balls, okay, didn't have the cool yordies to pick McCluggage, okay, I wish I did, just calm it down, okay, it was killing me watching him score 135, and I should have just done it, okay, I didn't back myself in. I mean, not that I picked a player that was bad, okay, but McCluggage had value last week. Now he hasn't got that value. His price jumped up. The horses bolted out of the gates, so he would have been a huge pod. But anyway, we're gonna wait for a couple of bad games from him, and then we'll reconsider, okay, getting him back in. Then you got Will Ashcroft. I don't get it. Okay, he scores the 112. He's actually now better than Lachie Neale. Okay, now. I wish I started him. I didn't. I mean, when I saw his scores at the start of the year, they didn't look that good, okay? He was scoring the same as Levi Ashcroft, so I thought, well, what's the point of spending this cash on Will when you can get Levi, okay? But I was wrong, because Will Ashcroft was a good starting option, and I wasn't expecting this kind of scoring from him. Levi, as I said as well, missed the boat on Levi. Levi and Will, not having these two virtually, it's a difference between 17k and 1k. Just these two players, one rookie and one sort of mid-pricer. You start these two and you're in the top 1,000. It's as simple as that. So that's not having these two. That's what happened. Now we go further down. Lachie Neale scored a 90. His price is getting smashed every week. We think is cheap, then it gets cheaper. He's in 24% of teams, okay? He's lost nearly 100k in value, okay? If I'm reading that right. My eyes say 92k. That's staggering, okay? You'll note the teams at the top one have Lachie Neale. That's the difference. One player makes a massive difference, because when you pay 640k for a player, you expect that player to score well. Well, Lachie Neale hasn't done it. Okay, you can see here 41, 133, two good games, two really bad games, and one average game. So going by these stats, okay, similar to the Nank, bad, good, bad, good, bad. Lachie Neale should go good this week because he's doing a pattern as well, playing against Collingwood, because then the bad one comes against St Kilda. If he scores this week, all right, if we do a projection on him, actually I can't, I have to reset this. Okay, I reset it, okay, so now we've got the projection back there. So if we give him a score, let's give him a 130 this week, all right? Let's follow this pattern, 130 this week, and then an 85 the following week. What does his price drop down to? Is it going to be 550k in round 7? That's unbelievable for a Lachie Neale, okay? That's cheap as chips, okay? Or even he's actually cheap now, 550k. Well, it's the same price. So 550k for Lachie Neale is unheard of, okay? But I'm too scared to get him. Like, it doesn't make any sense. Okay, so how does this happen? How do you not pick up a Lachie Neale at 550k this week? And I'm considering not getting him. I don't understand, okay? So probably going to pass on Lachie Neale at 550k this week. Unheard of. If you told me this at the start of the year, that Lachie Neale will be 550k, and I would say, no, I'm not interested, okay? You'd probably laugh at me, because that's the situation right now. I'm not interested. Just calm it down. Now, we go to Dunkley. He scored the 88. That's his worst game of the year, scoring the 88. He's been more consistent this year. Had 22 disposals. He did well in fantasy-wise, but I don't know. He didn't do that well in the Supercoach. He only had 10 contested possessions, so he didn't do the well, he had 8 tackles. Maybe the ground, I don't know. Zorko the Magnificent. He wasn't magnificent this week. Scored the 82. He was Zorko, the imposter this week, not the magnificent. So we want the old Zorko back. He had 20 kicks and 3 handballs. Just didn't score. And that's pretty much it. At the Lions. We go to Melbourne and Essendon, and we go to Max Gawn. Scored the 145 Supercoach points. 17 contested possessions for Max Gawn. He hasn't had this many contested possessions for a long time. Now, keep in mind, he played against the Bombers. He played up against Draper, and Draper actually scored well as well, okay? And now Draper scored the 110, and that's against Gawn. Draper's 400k, okay? Now, would you consider Draper? Okay, now their Nick Bryan's gone. Okay, I don't know how. What did he have? It's a bad injury. Okay, it doesn't say it here, but it's a knee injury, so it's pretty bad. So Draper's now the number one ruck, scoring 110 against Gawn. Okay, that's a fair effort. Draper had 22 disposals. If you got a ruckman getting 22 touches, that's a lot. Would you consider Draper in your team? It's a massive gamble, huge gamble, okay? And risk versus reward, okay? I don't have the cool units to do it either, okay? So I probably can't do it. But if you got the cool units to get a Draper at 400k and he can score at 110, virtually scoring more than Sherry, okay? That's decent. He had 26 hitouts. Gawn had 49, so he's not a hit-out player, but he's a player like Tim English that gets a lot of possessions around the ground. So it's a decent price for Sam Draper. Now, talking about Melbourne, Petrarca scored a 96, had 27 disposals, 59%. I don't understand, okay? A player hyped like Petrarca, Brownlow medalist favourite some of the years, champion of the game. He can't kick, okay? I've noticed this. It's not just this week. It's virtually every week. I look at him. He just gets the ball and kicks it. He's not an elite kick. How does a player like Petrarca not get training for his kicking, okay, to become a better kick? If he can be an elite kick, Petrarca would be scoring 150s every single week the way he gets the ball. He's contested, tackles there. I know he got injured, okay, last year, but that injury is not an excuse for his kicking. Because his kicking was bad last year as well. But his break-even now is 101, okay? So if you don't get him this week, don't panic. You can get him next week, okay? Because he hasn't cracked 100 yet, so you can still get him next week. He'll probably drop in price, because once he cracks the 100, maybe he'll get better, but he's playing Freo this week. He's got a good run, okay? Plays Richmond, then West Coast, and Freo, but not at home, okay? So if you can't get him next, because the problem is with Petrarca, you need to find 480k to get him. So how you going to get him? Okay, that's the question now. Because if you do get him, you want him against Richmond and West Coast. These are the best two games to get him on. Okay, then even Hawthorn, Brisbane Lions, Sydney St Kilda. He's got a decent draw coming up. If he scores 100s. Okay, I lost my projection again. Okay, something wrong with my projector. Okay, but anyway, if he scores 100s every week, he'll go back to about 500k, but it's a bargain. Okay, he hasn't been that bad. He scored a 96, 92, 80, 78, 98. I think the good scores around the corner for him. They're coming. He's got more mid minutes. I'd consider him this week. Okay, but again, you want him to score well. He's not kicking goals. That's a problem. How many goals did he kick this week? He didn't kick any. Okay, nothing. Okay, Christian Petrarca, 0.2. He missed the absolute sitter. Okay, 10 metres out, he missed it. I would consider him. Okay, not because you're gonna get him cheaper, because you probably will. Okay, but because his price is so cheap that when you look at your team, all right. And you look at a 2-week projection of who to bring in. If you're looking at bringing Stewart next week at 460k, then at 480k at Petrarca, it makes sense to bring him in because you're paying under 1 mil for 2 players, or close to 900k for 2 players, and your budget may only allow you to spend 900k on 2 players. So it's an option. Now let's talk about Clayton Oliver. Okay, now Oliver scored the 86, but he got tagged. Okay, so Oliver scoring 86 with a tag is actually decent. Okay, because Oliver used to score 60. So I've got no problems with Oliver. The problem with Oliver is he's in my team. That's why he's not scoring for your team. Okay, because whoever comes to my team doesn't score. Okay, that's how it works. So don't blame Oliver. Okay, blame Abs Magic. Okay, that's the reason why Oliver is not performing. But the minutes If I sack him, I'm guaranteeing you he's going to score 150s. He's going to be the Oliver of old. But I'm not going to do that for you, okay? You can't be greedy, guts, and have him for yourself. So I'm going to keep Oliver, and he's going to become a spud just coming down. Now, let's continue. Is there anyone else here at Melbourne that we should be talking about? Well, we did talk about the Gawn. There's only 3 players at Melbourne: Gawn, Petrarca, and Oliver. There's a couple of rookies here. But they're cooks, okay? Henderson scored the 13, 1 kick and 3 handballs in virtually 3/4 of a game. Unbelievable, okay? This gets Essendon. Ruyan, he's doing nothing in the forward line. Kick nothing, not even a shot on goals. 2 kicks. They've got to bring back. They've got to find something at Melbourne. You got who else? You got here. You got Lindsay. He had 8 kicks, 6 handballs. But his time on ground is only 64%, so he didn't have as much time on ground. That'll get to 80, okay, and he'll score well again soon. And that's pretty much it at Melbourne. Now, let's move over to Essendon, okay? Now, at Essendon, I've noticed something, okay? And this is big, what I'm going to tell you now. Players at Essendon, defenders at Essendon, they're going nuts, okay? They're having a field day. You could virtually have any Essendon defender, they're going to score well. Now, let's have a look. Essendon defenders. And this is playing at Adelaide, where defenders don't score, okay? Now, although the ground they scored on, played on, probably they did score, but have a look. Ridley, 17 kicks, 9 handballs. Zach Reed, 14 kicks, 7 handballs. Redmond, 14 kicks, 8 handballs. McGrath, 13 kicks, 13. They're all getting touches in defence. They play virtually kick to kick. And then we have Al Habibi, a boy, had 8 kicks, 10 handballs. He was a sub. He'll probably be sub again. Okay, so don't rush to get him, okay? Because I think there are better options this week. But if we don't get him this week, we're going to miss him. That's the problem. And he did score decent. Problem is, I'd probably wait another week on him and see him get sub, have a low score. At least his price won't go up too much. I'm even happy to pay 130k or 140k for him, okay, later on. Now we go to Richmond and Freo. Now, Richmond, we got Nank the Tank scoring the 125. Very happy with this score. 4 kicks, 13 handballs. All you want from your ruckman is to have, well, on this occasion, 17 touches. We noticed that we talked about Draper having 22 touches. 22 touches is massive for a ruckman. So Nank having 17 touches was decent because his hitouts went to advantage, okay? Because he played up against Shrek, who he didn't look that good, okay? And he was out-muscled by the Nank, okay? Shrek never gets out-muscled, okay? So it's his first game back, okay? Or second game back or whatever it is. So he's very rusty right now, okay? So, actually, first game back. So, very rusty. He'll bounce back. Keep an eye on Darcy. But we're talking about Richmond now. So, Nank impressed a lot, but he's got a tough matchup next week. So, it's going to see how he goes. Now, Short scored the 103 because Short is not in Richmond, is not at Abs Magic this week. That's why he scored the 103, okay? You can expect he scored from Short from now onwards, okay? Maybe even 150. The odd 150 will come your way if you're a Short owner. So get excited because Short no longer plays for Abs Magic. Should become a stud now. We'll go further down. And Luke Traynor, 17 kicks and 5 handballs. He went at 54%. Put this percentage up to about 70 or 65 because defenders should go better than 54. And you're looking at a score around about 90, 95. So Luke Traynor is going to be another jet rookie for us. So we're very happy with Luke Traynor. And not much else to talk about at Richmond. Okay, so let's skip Richmond because we've got Jonty Fall who played. It's called the 11. It replaced Armstrong. Didn't do nothing either. We go to Freo and Andrew Brayshaw. Okay, I think he's going to finish this year at M1. Andrew Brayshaw is the man. Okay, and 155. He played against Richmond. I understand. Easy game. Easy matchup. Okay. But even the last 2 weeks, 130s. Absolute jet. 83%. 14 contested possessions. 10 tackles. I mean, he doesn't have the physique of a Matt Rowell type, but he's still a Jet. He's an inside and outside player. They're very rare, these inside outside players, and he's virtually the cherry on top. Sarong is also one of those players. Okay, 29 disposals, 13 contested, only the 4 tackles. Where Brayshaw had the 10 tackles. Okay, Jordan Clark having a good year, very consistent, virtually the same as last year. His price doesn't go massively high because he always scores the same points. So the minute Jordan Clark plays, just put him down for 100. Okay, he's going to score you 105 to 110 every week. Very consistent player. And Hayden Young scored a 79. Okay, so at 55%. He'll be on our watch list for later on. As I mentioned, Sean Darcy. Luke Ryan is the one. Okay, now my good friend Tim Mitchell now is actually a really good friend of mine, and I felt so bad for him. He brought in Luke Ryan. Not that the player he was going to bring in did much better anyway, because he was going to bring Whitfield. He didn't do much himself. So, but Luke Ryan scoring the 52. I can't believe what I'm seeing, okay? This is a player that was going 180s last year. Actually, he scored a 180 against Richmond, okay? This time he only scored 52. Let's have a look at his price. Now, he's already dropped 100k in value, okay? So he's very cheap. And ownership-wise, 6% own him. So he's a pod. And you don't want pods scoring no good, okay? You want your pods going nuts and the comments scoring no good. Break even at 129. Now, he's got matchups, easy matchups, okay? He's got Melbourne, Adelaide, St Kilda. His scores, they haven't been the best. He's got a 66, 95, 81, 134, which is a big one, and then a 52. Now, if he scores at 100, okay, let's say score at 100, let's project him. He's going to drop down to 490k. Would you be interested in Luke Ryan at 490k? I don't even know if I want him, okay? The scoring's not there. Something wrong with him. So he's got all the kick-ins still too, which is the weird part. Let me show you. Well, when I say kick-ins, he only took 2 of them because there wasn't that many kick-ins for him. There was only 2, 3, 4, 5 kick-ins. So he took half of them. But you can see he's still taking the kick-ins. Clark has lost all the kick-ins. He's only taken 1, 2 last week, 2 the week before. So Ryan has the kick-ins still, but 2's not enough. He needs the big numbers, okay? Last year he was taking 10. Okay, that's a big number. You see at West Coast, their fullback, he has 10 kick-ins, okay, or 9 the week before. So he has big numbers. But at Freo, the opposition isn't scoring that much. As you can see here, even... this week they scored 13. That was a big week. 13 behinds. This week 7 behinds. 8, 9 behinds. There's not many behinds kicked against them. So either teams are very accurate when they score against Freo, or they don't. Freo don't concede many behinds. Okay, so there's something there. So the kick-ins aren't happening. Now, Sarong has been disappointing this year. Okay, he scored the 103. His price has dropped as well. Okay, he's also very cheap. There's a lot of bargains right now, but we don't have any cash. So Sarong, another cheap one. We go further down, and that's pretty much it. The Dudley was a no good. It was a sub this way. I mean, he's a Jet. Okay, I'm not saying that he's a no good. His score was a no good. Okay, even though he came on, didn't have much time on ground. He scored 17 Supercoach points, so the scoring was there. But he had one big dash on the midfield. He looked like Speedy Gonzalez running down that midfield, but unfortunately, he's not going to make much cash, is what I'm trying to say. Now, going over to St Kilda, Wanganeen Milera, 17 kicks, 7 handballs, 3 goals, 1. Okay, now, Wanganeen Milera had a very interesting heat map this week. I don't know where he played, okay? He played halfback, he played midfield, he played forward, he played wing. To be honest, that's worrying, because if I own Wanganeen Milera, I want Wanganeen Milera playing just defence, so he gets all those kicks. I don't want him playing in the forward line. I don't want him even playing in the midfield. So, 133 is a good score, but he kicked 3 goals. He's not going to kick 3 goals every week. So that 133 becomes more of a 95, okay, without those 3 goals, because you got the bonus scaling points added on top. So I'm not sure on Wangan Miller. I want to see his role, okay, before I pick him. Okay, now, Sinclair is a Jet. Scored the 108. He was sort of tagged but not tagged. He also switched. Okay, it says here, mostly starting half-back on Darcy Jones, switched to mids in quarter 4. So played quarter 4 in the midfield. Wangan Miller from half-back against Brown, switched to the wing in quarter 3. So he's played wing, half-back. He's moving all over the place. Wangan Winhager even moved, doing jobs in the midfield. So Jack Sinclair was tagged, still scored the 108. That's a massive sign, okay? I think he's one of the best defenders right now. And McRae, well, it doesn't matter. Steele, I don't know what's wrong with him this year. Jack Steele, 9 kicks, 11 handballs, missing every second week. Something is injured, okay? He's playing injured. There was rumours that he wouldn't even play this game as well. So wait for him to get fitter and stronger. Maybe in the second half of the year, he'll bounce back. And could be on our radars, but I wouldn't. I would avoid at all costs now of Jack Steele. And Travaglia is another dead rookie. Scored a 21. He's not doing it, okay? And Hasty is another dead one. Again, subbed, 16 points. His scoring is very good, 34 fantasy points. He can score really well, Hasty, if given the opportunity, okay? That's a problem. He's not getting the opportunity to score well. Now, we'll go to GWS and Lockie Ash. 137 Supercoach points at 93%. That's huge. 19 kicks, 14 handballs, 33 disposals. He's not going to do this every week, all right? He's not getting 33 disposals every week, considering Whitfield only had 26, okay? And usually it's Whitfield getting those touches. Lockie Ash is more of a 120 to 80, between 80 and 120 man, okay? The 137, that's a huge score, okay? And if he had more kick-ins, I would really consider him. That's a problem. He's not getting those kick-ins. I was considering him actually this week, but I'm probably going to pass. Now, Tom Green, 113. It's too early to jump on Tom Green. He's very inconsistent. We mentioned Lockie Whitfield. The ground wasn't for him, okay? So he'll bounce back, score his 120s and 130s again next week, unless he's become a spud because he plays for Abs Magic, and he'll stick to his 86s now because I own him. Just coming down. Okay, whoever I buy, he just becomes a spud, okay? So, besides him, was there anyone else? Connor Stone, 39, okay? That was a big score for him. That's pretty much it here. There's nothing else to see. Well, there's Callahan, okay? 24 disposals at 75%. That's a decent, but it's not enough, okay? He scored 82. Usually a 24 disposal game will get you about 90, 95 or something, but not for Callahan. So, Kieran Briggs had 36 hitouts. Marshall, actually I didn't talk about Marshall. Marshall had 19. Marshall scored 52 points. 12 disposals. That's a very low count for Marshall. Actually, let's have a look at Marshall. Now, Rowan Marshall is 516k with a break-even of 196. This is unheard of, okay? Now, you can get Rowan Marshall very soon, all right? If he scores, let's give him 100 every week. If he goes at 100, let's project it. You can get Rowan Marshall at 460k in 2 weeks' time. Now, in 2 weeks' time, we need to find some cash and fast, okay? And as you know, at Abs Magic, we've used all our boosts, so we don't have any boosts left. So we're going to struggle to find these players to bring in. But 462k for Rowan Marshall is a reason why I'm not going to get Gorn. Because why get Gorn and pay 580k when I can get a ruckman at 460k like Rowan Marshall, who last year's champion, or the winner last year, he won Supercoach because of Rowan Marshall. Rowan Marshall went nuts last year, scoring 120s, 130s. At the moment, he looks injured. So let's check. It doesn't look right. So maybe it's the reason why he's not scoring well. So Watch Roll Marshall careful because he's a player that can score 180s on any given day. He's one of those kind of players. And we now move over to the last game of the round. Okay, we'll talk about Port Adelaide and Hawthorn. Now, at Port Adelaide, the Connor Rosie, the cherry, okay, it's just rubbing it into my face, okay, they're saying the cherry on top, because have a look at the top 3 players, and 2 of them used to belong at Abs Magic, okay, Connor Rosie, 137, and the Horny Man, 119. Before this 137, Connor Rosie scored a 61 and a 76. And there was 2 tags coming, one against Hawthorn and against Sydney the following week. What do you do for a player that has 2 tags coming, scored 61 and 76? What do you do with that kind of player? Well, the normal thing to do is trade out a player like that because the 2 tags are coming, break even of 166, you trade him out, okay? But nah, you don't do normal things in Supercoach anymore because Connor Rosie then becomes a halfback. Because the coach, he's seen it, okay? Hinkley saw that I traded him out and put him in the halfback line, just coming down. I couldn't believe what I was seeing. Okay, it was like I wanted to cry. I was watching this game. I just wanted to cry. Okay, I brought 2 boxes of tissues next to me. I was watching him in the last quarter, but I didn't open the boxes because I didn't want to cry no more. I started yelling instead. I got very angry. Okay, but anyway, scored the 137. Butters the 135. We're gonna try to get Butters in somehow. All of us have to get Butters in. But when he gets cheaper, but is he gonna get cheaper is a question. So we're gonna find out. We need him to get tagged so he can cop a bad score. And if he gets tagged this week, it's the perfect time for him to get tagged because his score gets in a 3-week scoring cycle. So we need that tag on Butters ASAP. Okay. The Horny Man had 30 disposals for the Horny Man. 13 contested. Only 1 clanger. Only kicked 1 behind. No goals. Okay, and still scored a 119. It's doing my head in right now, the Horny Man. Because what's happened? Okay, what's happened is this. Rosie now has moved out of that, out of the midfield. So now Horny Man is a pure midfielder. Okay, now it's killing me right now. So the chances are now I'm probably going to have to bring the Horny Man back and just cop it. Okay, just cop it on the chin, okay? I made a mistake, okay? Well, it wasn't really a mistake because he didn't look interested when I sacked him. All of a sudden, his interest came back because he wasn't interested for one reason. Because at Abs Magic, there were all Spuds around him. He wasn't happy, okay? So he was not interested. The minute he got sacked from Abs Magic, he became interested again. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to kill him, okay? So I'm going to make him play for Abs Magic so all of you can suffer. Just come down! Now, we go further down and look at these players at Port Adelaide, and that's pretty much it. The best 3 players are at the top, okay, and we used to own 2 of them, okay, and now we only have none of them, okay, all gone. Now, we go to Hawthorn, and at the Hawks, there's not many players that are Supercoach relevant. Actually, I don't think there's any, okay, so there is one, maybe, okay, Dylan Moore, scored the 101, had 50% CBAs, no goals. Dylan Moore last year, let's have a look at Dylan Moore when he has 50% CBAs, what his scoring potential is. Now, if we keep looking, going down, there's no one else, there's no rookies. It says Connor Nash injured. What's happened to him? Left arm knock, subbed off at halftime. Well, that's probably why we saw more CBAs for Dylan Moore, because Connor Nash was out. So is it possible that Huswaite comes in this week? So maybe Dylan Moore won't get all these CBAs. So that's something to consider anyway. Let's move on to all the leagues now. Now, the Scodfather group, okay, we've got our boy Fahri. You're going to see him on our show very soon. He's got ranked number 1, okay, he's the best. Best of the best right now is Fahri. We've got Kyle, Ricks, and retirement, okay, coming at 14th. He's had a massive jump from 340th to 14th. Massive. One big week is all it takes, as you can see here. 24-15. What a huge week for the young man. We got here Braden Slim Dusty Martins, okay, ranked 17th. We got Wacko for Kako, ranked 19th. They're holding their ground, okay? You can see the 2200, 70, 2300. These are the scores that are holding your ground. Okay, you got Too Hard Basket, that's Shane's team, ranked 22nd. That's massive rankings here. Lincoln's team, that's Zesh Frenzy, ranked 26. You got Lucas, son of Draper, ranked 43. You got my boy here, Quinn. He's had a bad week this week, okay? Quinn James Football Club. What happened to Quinn James this week? Let's have a look. He was ranked 4th last week. Who let him down? Okay, Zorko let him down. He had Holmes as well, okay? So, he had Connor O'Sullivan let him down. He's got 180 points here on the bench. Here's the problem here. What I recommend, Quinn, young man, this week, you got to field these two. Put them both on field. Now, how are you going to do this, okay? I'm trying to work it out for you. You got to put Holmes into the midfield somehow, okay? Maybe you got to have Hasty as well, score on the 16. So move Hasty over here into defence. So switch Holmes and Hasty, all right? Switch these two around. Then put these two on field and Sullivan. Okay, so your ranking is going to go back up again. So don't panic, okay, young man? Just calm it down, okay? Just take it easy now, right? Quinn James, just take it easy now. And these two, this score of 180 is going to come on your field this week. So don't worry, okay? Now, then you have to decide what you're going to do for O'Sullivan. Then you can put O'Sullivan over here, so it's fine. You'll have these two on field this week. You just got a problem in the cash department. Lawler, I'm not sure how long he's out for. Okay, I've got no idea what his injury was. Camporeale, I don't know what's going on with him, and even with Henderson, but we need to fix your bench, okay? Because your Goldman here is doing nothing. 99k, he's not making any cash, okay? Next year, okay, just to help you out here, do not start these 99k rookies that are not playing, okay? Because what happens is you're going to have a lot of loops anyway. You can see here, Lawler's a loop. Now, Camporeale's a loop. And then what happens? Goldman becomes a loop. But didn't affect you because there was hardly any good primos or any good rookies in this forward line anyway. Even the ones I got become loops anyway. It doesn't matter, okay? But we need to fix this, get you some cash. Okay, so Muric is in the team. We've got Davidson. So the forward line, everything is decent, okay? Sherry's letting you down. So your problem was just here, okay? Hasty, okay? Because it was your bench. You didn't have a strong enough bench. But this problem's going to be fixed next week. So you got no problems, okay? Just take it easy, all right? Now, we've got James's team, Slippery Geckos, and James is ranked 60th, okay, he's killing it. We've got Ben's team, B Triple T. Now, he's jumped up, okay, he's come up to the top 100 now. Let's have a look at Ben's team. Let's check his team out, okay, let's check it out, okay. Now, what's he got? Well, this is the thing. How did Ben know that O'Sullivan wasn't going to be, was going to score 42? How did you know this, okay, well, he's got a trainer here at 80 as well. Because we've got to get trainer on field next week. And Roberts, same thing anyway. The team, we've got Zach Merritt, and you've got some pods here. Merritt, Anderson, Reed. Not sure if he's cashed out yet. We've got the bench. We've all got problems on this bench, all of us, okay? You can see you've even got Muric. Okay, you got the Muric, man. So B Triple T is doing really well. The Underbites, as Lucas's team, ranked 66. Okay, he's doing well. We've got Dusty Dogs, that's Michael's team, ranked 76. He had a massive week, 23-43. Let's check his team out. What did you do this week? Let's have a look. Okay, so you had a 104 on the bench as well, and you still scored a 23-43. That's insane. Okay, so the strength of this team. Will Ashcroft is the R2. Okay, work that out. Sorry, M2. Got Brayshaw. Even Captain DeConning could have had Captain Brayshaw, got more points. Got Connor Rosie, kept him, held the fate. The team is looking very solid, young man. Okay, very solid team. Pal Pepper on the bench as well, 101. He could have had a huge score, this man. Okay, so 101. Forward line looks strong. I mean, who would have expected Pal Pepper to score 101? Okay, but 23-43 could have been a 20. You could have been ranked probably 30th this week if the way your team was positioned. So a massive week for Dusty Dogs. Now, Gulden Tickets. That's Sam's team. Okay, it's worth 11.6 mil. It's much better than what my team is worth. He scored a 21-72, similar to me this week. Spud Guns, that's Clayton's team. Ranked again now, back in the top 100s. Last week he was just outside. He's back, okay? He says, I'm back. We've got Jaylene's team, the Greasy Wogs, okay? Or it is the Greasy Wogs, okay? And ranked 86. And we have Slim Garrison, that's Simon's team, ranked 88. So we're going to check out Slim Garrison's team now. Let's see his team. What's he done? Again, you got a 104 and an 80 on the bench. No, you don't. You got the 104 on field because you looped him, but you got the 80 on the bench and no Sullivan. So you could have got an extra 40 points. Okay, your bench is decent. I'm not sure who this is. Where'd you pick him up from? Okay, H. Davis. I've never heard of him. How did you find this player? Okay, anyway, scored the 12 points. I don't know where you got him from. Okay, so he's there. On the bench. He's used the loop options well. The team looks solid and got Sherry a flex. Playing the 3-ruck system right now. See, the 3-ruck system is not working for some people, but it's working for others because you got one player here in the top 100 with the 3-ruck system, so it has worked. So it doesn't mean it's not working. So we have now virtually 18%. All right, well even 19. Virtually almost 20% of the top 100 is in our league. It's absolutely insane. Well, in our group. So we've got one of the strongest groups you can find. Now, we're going to go scores around the grounds, okay? And we go to Scodfather Legends, and Abs Magic had a loss to my good friend Damo, okay? It was 10th versus 11th, okay? So Damo, unfortunately, we both had a bad score this week. So Damo, congrats on the big victory here. We played Scodfather Champions, and I don't belong in this league this year. My team is not worthy to be, especially coming 5th, okay? In the Scodfather Champs, my team is not worthy, okay? But 21-75 defeating JHF's Ton Achilles, okay? And that's Harvey's team. And unfortunately for young Harvey here, he played against my Spuds. And I don't know how my Spuds won this game, but they did. Now, Scodfather Cup 1. We lost to the Scod Mother, okay? Now, Scodfather versus the Scod Mother, okay? It was a close game, but the Scod Mother's coming first. The Scodfather's coming 19th, just coming down! Okay, so we're getting smashed in the Scodfather Cup 1. And congrats to Sid and the Scod Mother. I absolutely love this team name. Now, we lost to Didax Patrax this week, okay? And 21-75, defeated by 21-94. We had a victory over Spags Oasis this week. Our Spuds had a victory here. We had a close one against Wilso Day. That's Josh's team, 21-75 to 21-54. Jesse's team absolutely destroyed us this week. The Dependables, okay, 22-67, defeating 21-75. Geordie's team, the Amari Party, okay, had a percentage booster. Coming 6th now, George's team, having a big year, okay, and smashed our team. We got absolutely annihilated in this Scodfather Cup 7, okay. Gone with the Wind, okay, it's Jordan's team, okay. He not only beat us, okay, he rubbed it in our faces this week, okay? He virtually kicked us in the guts, okay? And then stood on our heads and jumped on top of us, just coming down, okay? He won by nearly 200 points, absolutely belted us this week. Now, we've got the Nuts. Even the Nuts beat us, okay? Nuts coming 3rd. We're very unlucky to match up against a strong team like the Nuts because the Abs Magic, the Spuds versus Nuts, so we had no chance. So they scored 23-01. Now, Draper's Traitors, okay, now, this team, 21-30, we're actually happy with this one because we actually won a game for a change. So, unfortunately for Draper's Traitors, coming 20th, okay, so Mitchell's team needs some improvement this week. Now, in Scodfather Cup 10, we played up against One Goat. Okay, now, this One Goat is ranked 2nd in the league. Absolutely killed us, okay? 23-16 to 21-75. Let's check out One Goat's team. Okay, let's find out what kind of team he's got. Okay, now, his pods were my players, okay? These are the pods he's got. Were pods to me. Connor Rosie and the Horny Man, okay? Now, I could have had these two play. I had one of them, okay? But his team went nuts this week. Now, and the rest of his team is same as mine, okay? So, and he's got Gorn, who went 145. So, his players went nuts. Now, the magic number was 2,000 this week. And as you can see here, we've lost quite a few players that went under 2,000. Some people had a really bad week this week. I feel sorry for some people's here. And, Even my good friend here, Immortal Wizard, had a bad one, 1942. We've had some. He had some. Even my good friend here, Jason. What happened to Jason? Let's check out what did Jason do this week. Why did you go so bad this week? What did you do? Let's have a look. He had Well, he got Zach Reed on the bench, the same as me, and Trainer. He got two good players on the bench, and we've got these players scoring the 80s. What else happened? Well, you got Tasatis hasn't come back yet. The rookies haven't scored for him. And you got Maric. He's also sacked the same. Well, no, he's got the horny man here, so he hasn't sacked the horny man. He's got the horny man. Well, he's played the 3-ruck system, okay, and Sherry hasn't worked for him. So unfortunately for the Samaritan Tiger, next week he's going to bounce back big time. And as you can see, he even got Dawson scored the 60s. So virtually all these players in the same week have become spuds, similar to my team. My team do it every week, okay. So hopefully his team doesn't copy my team and become spuds. But a few players, we've lost quite a few at 2000. We've actually lost. I didn't think we were going to lose this many, okay? Some teams lost by 1 point. We lost 42 teams this week. So next week, the magic number is going to be 2025, okay? We're going to increase it by 25 points. So it'll be 2025 next week. So hopefully you'll be able to increase your output from some of your players, because these teams, a lot of our teams struggled this week. So hopefully next week our teams will go nuts. Now, this video was supposed to go for half an hour, okay? Now, I don't know how it happened, but it still went for an hour and a half, and I cut everything short. I don't understand. Just calm it down. Anyway, that's all for today. Thank you for joining, and remember one thing. It's nice to be important, but it's important to be nice. Ciao for now.
That's all, folks.